Hey guys, it's Erica here with the Child Care Directors Chair podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really wanted to talk about something that I thought was important because it's certainly touched my life in the lives of those who work with me, for me, and childcare directors everywhere, to be quite honest. I want to talk about the effects of stress and what we need to do about it. And I have many episodes on self-care. But I have to be honest, this really was prompted by a Facebook post that I saw in a childcare owner director support group. And I'm going to read some of it to you. And it's anonymous, so this isn't going to put anybody's personal information out there per se. So I'm not going to read it word for word, but she says something like, I realize this may be too personal for some, and I apologize in advance. But does it ever feel like you need to talk to someone like a counselor, therapist, religious, spiritual leader? And if so, does it have any effect on your licensing or insurance? Years ago when I first started, I was overwhelmed and my doctor prescribed some types of medication for me that helped with antidepressant. Anyway, I was getting childcare insurance set up and I had a prospective company ask me a question about, sorry about that, guys. It happens every time I record. And asked about have they ever taken a pill and if you're mentally sound to run a business. Not exactly the words, but the gist of it. I had I started talking as though it was a short-term plan. So fast forward to now. Some days I'm overwhelmed with everything. The mind games, the stress, the drama, the financials, etc. I can't enjoy time off because something will always remind me of work. I wake up feeling anxious every morning. Some family members have suggested seeking counseling, but I'm just not sure if I should. If so, who? I've also considered my parish priest because I do have a lot of spiritual questions as well. But maybe someone, I don't know at all who would be better. Or am I just being a drama queen and looking and hoping for attention? There's 12 comments on this particular post and it hasn't been up very long. I guess it has 3 days. First of all, I'm going to say I am not any of those things. I'm not a therapist. I am not a clinician. I am certainly not a priest. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of those things. What I am, though, is I can relate. So first of all, do not feel embarrassed to share your story. I'm happy that you did. It touched me because I know that, we're not alone. You're not the only one who wakes up anxious. You're not the only one who is mentally and physically drained by all that we deal with as childcare owners or directors. So please continue to talk. Talk it out. Don't keep all those things inside. That I know for sure. And I know because I've lived it. I've lived it and I've shared the story many times. There was a point not that long ago that I also felt like I was going to die. I was so empty. I was so empty. And it was so confusing. And I had said to one of my really great, wonderful colleagues who works with me, and I said to her the other day, I said, how come we can get to a point where we can love something and dread something so much at the same time? So what you're feeling is real. What you're feeling there, Miss Anonymous Member, is real and you are not the only one. So today I want to talk about it. And so I first just wanted to acknowledge why I'm even bringing it up and what we can do about it. And besides, a bubble bath, right? We need more than that. So I'm going to say, talk to one of those people. Maybe you talk to all of them. Maybe you see your doctor. Maybe you see your priest. Maybe you see a clinician. Go see all of them and see who helps the best. See who gets you to a place where you feel much better, and you're not dreading the day to day, because it's horrible to feel that way, especially when it's something that you love. Obviously you love it, and that's where that conflict comes in. You love it because you keep going back. You haven't quit. You haven't turned in your keys. If you're a childcare owner, you haven't sold your business, right? And it's these high levels of stress and responsibility, overseeing so many different things: curriculum development, staff management, parent relations. Also, how do we stay in compliance and regulatory standards and ensuring the safety and well-being of all the children in your care? Not to mention quality standards and all the additional things that we do to raise the bar in early childhood education. So it's not surprising that many of us are under stress. Also, that support of constantly providing emotional support to your children and your staff. Let's face it, they come to you for many things. Sometimes work-related, sometimes not. And I know that you love them, because all of us in this field have huge hearts, and you take on so much of their worries and strife. You share it with them. You try to talk them through it, but at what cost? So you have to really make sure that you're putting these things in perspective. We're managing conflicts between parents and staff, or within children interactions, the toddler who keeps biting the other toddler, and the parents want to see you for the 30th time and want to know what you're going to do about it. Yes. Or when your phone pings after hours and you're scared to look at it because it's like, what now? We work a lot of extended hours, way beyond regular hours, meetings, planning, unforeseen issues. A lot of times, going back to your center, checking the camera, or looking for, a missed, sock, lunchbox, whatever it is. And that difficulty in maintaining the clear separation between work and personal. I have a director who keeps begging her staff, please stop Facebooking me before my shift starts, unless it is a true 911. If it is not a 911, please wait for me to come in the building, put my bag down, punch in, take a breath of air before you come at me with all of these demands. Now, staff, don't take us wrong. We want to be there to support you, but at the same time, we are human. We are human beings, and we also need the same things that you do. We need to breathe. We need to eat lunch. We need to use the bathroom. We need to do all the same things that you need to do. And so I'm sorry, I'm getting a little razzed up, because as the leadership, yes, of course, we are here to support and serve, but not at the detriment to our own lives. Not to that level, I'm sorry. There's the budgets, and right now that is causing so much stress and strife. Handling tight budgets, tighter than ever, making financial decisions that impact the center's operations, impacts what families have to pay for tuition. It impacts what you're able to afford to pay your teachers and keep your teachers, with you, and the benefits you can provide, because you want them to also be able to be happy and be able to provide for their families. And, again, I speak from passion, because I too live this. I am not somebody who's like, jet setting around the world and under a palm tree. Like, I'm sorry, but these are real things that are happening right now. We have more paperwork than ever, more reports than ever, compliance documentation, so much more on the computer than we ever had. Like 10, 20 years ago, we didn't have an app. We didn't have to put every little thing in an app. There weren't all these new workforce registries and all of these online portals that we now need to do. Licensing you used to be able to do through, pen and paper, fill out an application, work at your own pace. Now it's, a lot of it is all online. Of course, that's to streamline things. But if you're from an older generation, that could also be causing you additional stress. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. So you need to take care of yourself. So let's talk about it to you, Miss Anonymous, because your anonymous is really all of us. So you got to establish those boundaries, that work-life separation, clear limits on work hours, and stick to them. Create a physical and mental space where you leave work behind. And that's really hard for some of us. And I'm one of them. But to me, my children and my husband get on me a lot. Like, do you ever stop working? I'm like, the things that you consider work and the things that I consider work might look different, right? So lots of times on the nights and the weekends, I'm working on my podcast. I'm working on, what topics do I want to talk about? What book am I working on? But I enjoy those things. Those are an outlet to me. And I don't want to say it's a hobby because I'm very serious about what I'm doing here on this channel. But it's so enjoyable. It doesn't feel like work. And I know that sounds really cliche. It also helps me in some kind of way. Maybe this is a part of my therapy, being able to talk with all of you and share, my struggles, to share my successes, to talk about my feelings about the industry, where we're going, what the future looks like. For me, this is an outlet. And this is a place where I guess I feel seen and heard. So thank you so much for tuning in on a regular basis and allowing me to do that. And I hope that in some way, this podcast helps you as well. Schedule your regular breaks. We have come from a climate where, if you took a break, it was like a sign of weakness, right? It's not. And this new generation gets a lot of strife about work ethic and yada, yada, right? But I feel like some of it is right. Yes, you got to come into work. Yes, you got to give your 100%. Yes, you got to, do what is expected from you on the job that you signed up for. But at the same time, it's okay. Like, take your regular breaks, take your vacation, take your personal time, and do activities that rejuvenate you. I have spoken many times about going to Arizona, and for you, it might be a beach. For you, it might be going for a walk. Maybe it's putting together some type of a daily routine where you put that time aside and you say, no matter what, this is what I'm going to do during this time, whether it's meditation, whether it's journaling, whether it's just having a cup of coffee with your spouse, whatever it is, make sure that you create a routine around it, that it doesn't become like a one day you came in, right on time, right at your shift time, instead of showing up early. Because I know all the directors, we always show up early and we always leave late. And, yeah, that's great to have good work ethic, but are you really giving your 100%? Are you able to give your 100%? If you're wiped out, the answer is you're not, right? So, and when I speak, I'm speaking to my own directors as well. I have 3 childcare directors at my programs. And when I say this, I say it with love, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, take your break. Stop coming in early. I don't want you to. I'm a very active owner. And hopefully this person here who made this post, hopefully they have an active owner too that they can use as a source of support, right? Hopefully that owner is active enough to say, I'm going to take a portion of this. How can I help you? Or what can we delegate so that way there isn't so much that you're having this anxiety every day when you wake up. It's not worth it. Develop a support network, a peer group. And I'm so happy that you are in that Facebook group and that you are connecting with other childcare directors and professionals who have similar roles and share those experiences and can give you some advice. And again, remember, none of us in that group, well, I'm going to say, I don't know for sure, but there's a good chance that in that community group that is made for childcare directors, administrators, and owners, that they're probably not spiritual guidance. They're probably not clinicians or doctors. So please reach out to who you need to reach out to that will help you through this challenging time. There is nothing wrong with seeking professional counseling. Engage with a counselor or a therapist who can provide guidance on managing stress and emotional challenges. And I want to wait a minute because I think we always kind of glance over how people are feeling. And it's important that we acknowledge that, right? If we saw a little child in the corner crying, in disarray, we would take care of them. We have to do the same for ourselves. It is not selfish. Practice self-care, physical health, incorporate regular exercise, maintaining a balanced diet, and ensuring adequate sleep. Now, the funny thing is, there's no secret there, right? We all know that. And I am as guilty as everybody, but we don't always do it. We don't always do it. And we wait sometimes for that major thing to happen, whether it's a stroke, whether it's you've just, got diagnosed with a high blood pressure or something else, right? Diabetes, whatever it is. Regular exercise. And I went to the gym this morning. Check out my Instagram. I went to the gym this morning. I have to get back on my daily routine because when I do work out, I feel much better and I feel like I'm ready to conquer the day. I have to do it in the morning. At night, it just doesn't work for me, but everybody is different. But if I do it in the morning, I feel in control. Even if it's that weird period of time that I get up early at like 5, it's before the center is open, and I have some control over that. And I feel good about it, and those endorphins happen in my brain, and I say, okay, now I'm ready for the challenges, right? I would say, it's really important that you do that because many of us, and again, I'm going to speak for myself, but many of us, many times that we're sleeping a little bit later, and could be some of that anxiety where you're like, you're procrastinating a little bit because you're afraid of what you're going to walk into. So, and food has a lot to do also with your mood and how you feel. So let's make sure that you're looking at those things as well. Getting sleep. Sleep is so important. Get your sleep, drink your water, all the things you already know what to do, but check in with yourself. Are you doing them? Especially if you're feeling stressed out, take a look at that. Maybe you journal how often you're going out for a walk or what things that you can do that are healthy coping mechanisms. You want to make sure that when you're checking your mental health, engage in mindfulness practice. Hobbies that you enjoy, going for a bike ride, taking a kite out, going on a kayak, like any of the activities that reduce stress and promote relaxation, hitting the spa, going to a comedy show. These are all things. I mean, I know they have the board teachers comedy group. I mean, they're fantastic and God, so relatable, right? So do some of those things, but you have to make them part of your regular routine. No one-time bubble bath is going to fix the stress that we are all enduring right now. Now, you got to work on your skill building in terms of ongoing professional development to help you with some of the areas that are causing the anxiety. Training sessions, stay current on best practices, and that will also help boost your confidence that you feel strong enough to handle whatever it is that's really giving you that anxiety. And maybe working with the leadership coach. Seek coaching to enhance your leadership skills and manage stress more effectively. The more confident you feel, the more you're going to be able to work towards what it is that you're trying to do at your center. Now, I am going to say with the little caveat, you can't just jump into coaching. If you're not in the right mindset, that's not going to help you. So you have to get in the right mindset. So please, seek medical attention. Signs of medical issues. If you have persistent stress, you have chronic headaches, you're fatigued, you have digestive problems, or frequently sick, it is time to see the doctor. Stop popping Aleve, Tylenol, Advil, stop it. Also, if you have signs of depression, anxiety, or overwhelmed feelings of burnout that persist despite how many bubble baths and walks you have taken, it is time to seek medical help. Spiritual guidance also is another way. And I think that these two things really go hand in hand. Seek medical to take care of your physical part, but seek spiritual or community support to take care of your emotional part. And those are connected, so you can't have one and not the other. If you have spiritual or religious beliefs, seek support from your spiritual advisor or your community leader. And then community resources. Engage with local support groups or community resources that offer emotional and spiritual support. By recognizing stress associated with the role of being a child care director and taking proactive steps to manage and alleviate it, you can foster a healthier work environment for yourself and those you serve. Balancing those personal and professional responsibilities in your personal well-being is essential for long-term success and fulfillment in a demanding but rewarding role. So I hope that you, Miss Anonymous, listen to our podcast. And you know the good thing is, even if that one specific director didn't listen to it, I know that all of us who listen to this channel can relate with today's topic. So again, remember, it's the small details that make a big impact on the success of your child care business. But today, you are not a small detail. You're a very big detail. So make sure you take care of yourself. And as always, have a great day.